Come on in. Come on in. The water's fine. Absolutely. Man, it's so good to be with you on this Tuesday morning. I'm telling you, I had to check for the for the day and the time. Huh? Go ahead and shout out where you're from. Yes, so I can go ahead and shout that out as well to the viewers. We're over here live and we are getting your questions answered. Period. No excuse at all. No excuse at all. We want to get your questions answered. All right, so that's where we are at right now. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Yes. So let me ask you a question. Which do you need help with the most? Your credit? Velocity banking? uh, or your marketing? Do some of you feel like you're crying? What's going on, Michael from Maryland? All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, the questions that you have will be answered on this show. This is the first time I've actually done something of this magnitude. All right. But I felt that the need to actually answer the questions and actually map that out for you is great. So we're going to go ahead and do that. You say, maybe the question is too, because there was a lady that was like, well, I'm sorry if this is a stupid question. Listen, when it comes to finances, it's not stupid. And this is why. The system was rigged against you. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Federal Reserve, right? Listen, that is not a conspiracy theory, folks. It's not federal and there are no reserves. Okay, it's a private bank. And so when you're dealing with finances, no wonder people have so much trouble with it. It's a system that is rigged against you. And until you know what it is that you must do in order not to be a victim of the system, but to be a victor over that system, you will stay stuck. You will stay in the mud. You will stay in the swamp. And there will be no way out until you find a way. And this is the way. Grind TV has one of the greatest questions so far. Let's do it. They say, if I have a car loan, how do I add my credit card as payment on the loan? Boy, that is awesome. All right. Let me go ahead and give you that answer right now. You know, my friend, boy, he has a knack of calling right in the middle of the live. Look, and he's still calling, y'all. Listen, thank God for friends who will not give up. They will not give up. I'm telling you. I just gotta touch him back, and then we're gonna go ahead and continue with this. All right? Perfect. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and. Hey, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. If I have a car loan, all right, and let's just place that here. You remember word problems? Don't worry. It's not going to be one of those, all right? It's not going to be a word problem. I'm going to solve it for you. Car loan. If I have a car loan, how do I add my credit card as payment on the loan? Now, you can do as Jeremy suggested. Jeremy, that's a great suggestion. All right? Period. Plastique has one of the greatest tools that you can use even for paying mortgages, right? You can pay the mortgage with your MasterCard and Discover card, all right? As well as your car loan. They love those cards. It's not that they can't use the other cards, right? American Express, Visa. It's not that they can't use those, but for mortgages, right? And especially for car loans as well, you're going to want to utilize, if you're going to utilize Plastique, MasterCard and Discover Card. You're going to need to write those down. You're going to need to memorize those, because those are the cards that you'll be using for paying off those huge loans, like the mortgage. Well, the mortgage is a security, and a car loan as well. Okay, and so always keep that in mind. If you're going to use Plastique, please don't forget these two cards. So get ready to place that card information of your MasterCard and your Discover card inside of your Plastique account. It's free to set up. Now, as far as the transaction fees, how much are those? It's going to be 2.5%. Hey, Jesus, I'm doing well, man. Over there in the Republic. You know what I'm saying? Yes, doing well, man. Yeah, every day is a good day to implement velocity banking. But look, 2.5% transaction fee. Now, I know some people, they actually get nervous. They get nervous when you talk about fees. But this 2.5% here, okay, it's simple interest. And what do you know about simple interest? Okay. What do you know about it? It's calculated much less interestingly than the amortized. Remember, simple interest, I equals PRT. Okay? I equals PRT. Principal, rate, and time. Okay? That's going to equal your interest rate. Listen, if you want to know what the how to calculate amortization, I do have that. It's in my class though. It's about $19.99. For right now, Velocity Banking 2.0, I go over all that in the class. All right, we have multiple lessons for you to get very proficient in that. If you're not a part of the Velocity Evangelist membership, I definitely encourage you to get a hold of that. But as far as calculating the amortization, woo! It's some pretty dark math, man. It's pretty dark. It's like, man, how would anybody feel comfortable and sleep at night knowing that you just told somebody, and I'm actually going to go ahead and continue to answer that question because I'm not done. There are more ways than Plastique. But how can someone sleep at night knowing that you just told this person, yeah, your home, right, is, let's say, 6%, when really it's 115%? Because you knew that they didn't really know how to calculate like you know how to calculate on the amortization. Sick, folks. Sick. I told you. It's rigged against you. And if you don't know how to win in the system, you will drown in the swamp. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on answering this question. How do I add my credit card as payment on the loan? So you also have a couple options, right, as well. What are your thoughts about, I hesitate to saying it, man, but what are your thoughts about cash advance? Now that you know it's simple interest, look at how much, right, you're saving on the car loan by chunking that principal down. Okay? How much you're saving on it. So what about the line of credit as well? That's another option. Because in many banks and credit unions, they are now allowing you to do what? Get a personal line of credit called a PLOC and a business line of credit. Do you remember what a B HELOC is if you can't qualify for a HELOC? And of course the HELOC. All of these you can actually get check payment for. You can write out a check, and instead of using that card, you can actually place that check on the principal. You have to say principal. You have to say principal only. Principal only, so that they get it. Okay? Because if not, they'll divide it. Okay? That's not going to do you any good. Not as much good as it would if you chunk the principal. Okay? Because when you chunk the principal, what happens? What happens when you chunk the principal? The principal gets smaller, and what else gets smaller? That's right. That's right. The interest gets smaller. So think of the interest as a parasite, right? And think of the principal as the host. All right? So the parasite feeds on the host. Remember? Yeah, that's what we got taught in school. Listen to this. Jesus, no way, man. $7 a gallon? There's no way in the world. Somebody say that's not true. There's no way in the world, Jesus. Not $7 a gallon, man. There's no way. Are you serious? Oh. No, man. No. That's right. So listen. Jesus, you're paying $7 a gallon, man. $7 a gallon. Grind, I hope I answered your question, man. I trust I answered your question. Plastique, then your lines of credit. Okay? Hey, that's all right. Listen, when you don't have that, this is why you need to get a business, because then you could then, and I'm not getting paid to say this, watch this. You could then do this. Oh, I'm still on the erasing part. There we go. Look, you can go and get yourself a WEX fleet card. When you have a business, you can get yourself a WEX fleet card, and they will give you, Jesus, $1,000. Okay, and of course everybody's different, so I don't know how much it's going to be for you. It may be more, it may be less. But if you get a business, if you let them know you've got a business, they'll give you $1,000 gas credit. That means you can use that $1,000 card at the local gas station that accepts it. Okay? It's WEX, it's fleet, it's a fleet card, it's accepted almost everywhere. So you put it in the gas, and you just gluk, 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 gluk. And then you're going forth. Let's say you have to buy some materials. Guess what? That's a business trip. For your business? Yes, sir. Yes. You can use that gas card, man. And what does that mean? That means you have tax deductions coming off out the wazoo, because you're paying $7 a gallon. So if you need 5 gallons of gas, that's $35 plus tax. Listen, they're already taxing you with the inflation. So this is what you need to do. You need to go ahead and circle this WEX fleet card. Don't have the URL at the present time, but my goodness, man, get yourself a WEX fleet card, man. Everybody in California should get a WEX fleet card. Everybody in California paying $7. Wow. It is crazy out there. Almost $5 in New York, bro. It's like $4.29 in Arizona. Now, let's go ahead and go to Jeremy's question here. I believe you did a video on using a credit card to pay down debt when you have negative cash flow. Can you cover that, please? You turned into the correct channel. Yes, I can. Let's go ahead, erase all that. Let's start from the very beginning. First of all, when you have, and let's just give an example here. When you have $5,000 in income, equals income, all right? We'll go ahead and label it. Listen, folks, hey, tell your boss you're on break. You're on an extended break, right? Because you're learning information that's going to catapult you from that job. All right, watch this. And let's say you have $6,000 in expenses. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's going to leave you with, and notice what I'm writing here. Notice what I'm writing here. Do you see that? I want you to see this. 5,000 equals income. 6,000 equals expenses. When you take your income and you subtract the expenses, it's going to equal your cash flow. All right? This is a negative $1,000. Now you say, wait a minute. Negative $1,000. How are you going to do anything with negative $1,000 like this? Each month you're spending $6,000 in expenses. But let's take a closer look at the expenses. You see, I want you to get something. If you don't get anything else, the answer is always going to be in the problem. Let me say that again. The answer will always, siempre, always be in the problem. All right? Never forget that. And let me give you a case in point on that. We're just going to go ahead and draw a square here. 2 plus 2 equals what? 4, right? Well, how did you get that answer? Perhaps you did it in your mind like this, and all you had to do was count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same thing. And when you're dealing with finances, it's the same thing. All right? Check this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the expenses, okay, and we're going to divide those expenses up. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you starve or get on the beans and rice diet. We're going to categorize those expenses. So there are productive expenses. There are protective expenses. There are lifestyle expenses. Come on now, for your peace of mind. And there are destructive expenses. Okay? So I'll leave it up to you to categorize those expenses for you. But what I want you to walk away with right now, if you're in negative cash flow and you're having a hard time paying off your credit cards, it can be done like this, okay? I want you to take your productive and protective expenses, and I want you to go over here with it, okay? So let's go ahead and put those right there. And protective expenses. So go ahead and label them. Label them. Okay? All those expenses you have, just take some time out, maybe 10, 15 minutes, okay? And label, hey, which ones are productive? Which ones are protective? Which ones are lifestyle expenses? And which ones are destructive expenses? And if you're finding that your lifestyle expenses are kind of getting the best of your cash flow, then you may want to consider either subtracting those lifestyle expenses or placing the same amount of cash flow into a productive expense. You thought I was going to say get rid of it, huh? Watch this. Destructive expenses, maybe that membership that you don't use anymore, right? Gym membership, book membership, whatever it is, okay? The destructive expense, right, that you're not using, then we can go ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and save that for another day, right? Because we're not using that right now. I mean, 500, 600, maybe 12, maybe $1,000 is going towards a destructive expense. I'm not saying to stop spending that money. I'm saying stop allocating it somewhere that is not causing that growth in the finances. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Now, what you'll do is when you have the productive and the protective, don't be afraid to spend even more on productive, folks. On productive. And if you can, you need to get another line of credit. Why? Because it's not like you have a consumer mentality. If you're listening to this channel, I know that you have a business ownership mentality. You have a system, right? And just because perhaps you didn't do it like you thought you would yesterday, it doesn't mean at all that you're going to fail tomorrow or that you're going to fail today. Invest in yourself. Believe in you. Man, I believe in you. So place that 500, 600 towards that productive expense. Perhaps it's getting educated, right? Perhaps it's getting educated on how to do or to be a financial advisor. I don't know what you want to do, okay? But work towards that. Because what you're going to do when you get educated in that manner is you're going to be providing value to the people. Now, $5,000 in income should be going where? Where should it be going? Inside of that card, inside of that line of credit. Because for some time, they're not going to know that you're, drowning. And you're not really drowning. That's only, negative $1,000 in cash flow. So what? Okay? Look, for a while, they're going to be like, man, this guy actually paid us. And you know what else you can do? You can ask for an increase in the line of credit. Absolutely. You see, when you are cash poor, like this, look, when you're cash poor, many times you're credit rich. And when you're credit rich, you can actually get a house. When you're credit rich, you can get a nice car and then sell it. Did you know that cars are actually going up in value? That's crazy. They're going up in value now. I think because of the shortages of the chips. But that's crazy, right? So folks, I'm never going to say contract. Gary Keller, the founder of Keller Williams, doesn't say that. All of the system owners, the business owners, they don't say that. They don't say contract. They say go even more. You say, man, but I can't afford. Get a loan. But the bank isn't there. Get a payday loan. You got a line of credit. You know the velocity banking method. You place your income, right? You transfer it from your checking account into your line of credit. And then you pay your bills from your line of credit. Don't be ashamed to get on the phone and say, listen, could I not pay the 15th? You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. I'm telling you. That's right. Absolutely. And Jeremy, please. And I want to give you even more, Jeremy. All right? Let's go ahead and connect, because I want you to get the class Velocity Banking 2.0. I want you to be a part of our community, man. Absolutely. Because we even go into business We even go into how to get a business, how to market, and a whole lot of things. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and drop. I'm gonna drop this right now. I'm gonna drop it right now, man. I'm gonna drop it right now. I'm dropping the URL right now. I'm dropping it, man. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Let us not. I'm not gonna waste this time, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give you this URL right here, because I actually want you to be another one of my testimonials, man. Jesus is amazing. Look at him. 4. Boom. All right. So let's go ahead and. That's right, man. Man, listen. I'll never say contract. I'll never say starve. I'll never say be frugal. I'll never ever say it, man. Because there's over 400 tax deductions. Not for people who are frugal. Not for people who say, oh, I'm going to starve to death. Huh? Not for those people, but people that say, man, I believe in this. I believe in my business. I believe in my vision. I don't care what these men say. Huh? I don't care what they say. I know that I can build this out. And they build it out. They take these productive expenses. They take this cash flow that's negative 1,000, that's negative 2,000, and they keep getting loans until it works. Please, please, connect with us. Connect with us. I want to make sure this URL works. All right. And I'm going to send it out. Does it work? There we go. Boom. There it is. That's the one right here. Can I pin it? I'm going to pin it. Message pinned. All right. Listen, folks. I just got a call. But, man, if you have any of your friends that need assistance, especially during this time, please let me know so that I can help them out. Don't be afraid, man. Invest. Allocate it properly. Don't spend. Circulate. That's what it's called. Circulate that money. Make sure you're putting all that, when you go to work, that's seed money. Put that into something else that's going to make sure that you retire in 5 years, 7 years. Notice how the numbers, and I really got to go, guys, but let me just give you this one portion. 5 to 7 years, that applies to paying off your mortgage. And that applies to when you can retire. Now, many of you are going to be teaching your sons and daughters that. Do you know how far ahead they would be above the others? And I'm only getting started. Folks, I want to see you in the email list because I want to give you something that's going to change your life. All right? Thank you so much for tuning in. I am sad that I have to go. I was actually called, and I don't want to go. Okay? But I got to. All right? God bless y'all. You take care. And especially God bless Jesus, because he's paying $7 at the gallon. Bro, let's connect, man. Let's make sure you stay above water and fly above the clouds. All right, man. Take care.